fracking drilling into the earth. Did you know that only about 50% of this country knows what fracking is? And only about 30% of that 50% care. But only about 5% of that 30% are actually informed enough to do something about it. After my speech, you will be amongst this 5%. You can make a difference, and I will show you how. Fracking is also known as hydraulic fracturing. Fracking is the process of injecting a large volume of water, sand, and many toxic chemicals into the earth at high pressure. When people do this, it breaks up a rock formation, allowing natural gas to flow up the oil well. Natural gas by itself is actually quite a good energy source, but the problem is the process of injecting many toxic chemicals into the earth at high pressure. It is just a matter of time for these chemicals to leak into the area surrounding the fracking site, and once it starts to leak, there is no way to stop it. Fracking threatens the air we breathe, the water we drink, the communities we love, and the climate we cannot live without. As a matter of fact, fracking threatens the entire earth. Let's talk about why. 1. Contaminated water and food. Because fracking is largely unregulated, a major part of the problem is that we do not know exactly where, when, or what chemicals the oil and gas industry is blasting into the ground during fracking. Last year in Pennsylvania, 28 beef cattle were exposed to fracking fluid. Only 3 of the calves from these cattle survived. In Louisiana a few years ago, 16 cows dropped dead after drinking fracking fluid. In fact, some Pennsylvania residents living near a fracking area put a match next to the tap water and their water ignited because of all the methane gas that was in their water. You know that funny smell that you smell when you walk or drive by a farm? Well, that's methane gas there. 2. Earthquakes. Fracking is happening in California. As many of us know, California is prone to earthquakes. What many of us don't know is that fracking will make California even more prone to earthquakes. For example, the Inglewood oil field is on a 7.0 seismic fault line, not an area you want to shake up. An earthquake scientist from Columbia University, who's been studying fracking and drilling for more than 40 years, says that any well that pumps stuff into the ground can cause earthquakes. In fact, in Ohio, an area not prone to earthquakes, nearly a dozen 4.0 earthquakes occurred last year, resulting in state officials closing 4 of these wells permanently. So just think about this. If fracking is potentially causing earthquakes in non-earthquake country, why would we want to risk fracking in an area already known as the earthquake state? So here's where regulation is also essential, because right now there are no regulations regarding fracking and seismic faults. 3. What is happening in California right now? The fracking target in California right now, by TXP, the oil company, seems to be the Inglewood oil field in Monterey Shell. In the areas surrounding the Inglewood oil fields, there is current property damage from homes cracking from underground drilling, a dog park that had to be closed because there was oil and gas bubbling up from the ground, a school that can't fix a reappearing sinkhole, and there are already some cancer clusters at the foot of those hills. It turns out there has been unregulated drilling at the foot of those hills since 1924, endangering 3 of our major water sources, the Sisquoc, Salinas, and Armagos rivers. Of course, oil companies such as TXP have released study results that find in their favor that they are engaged in to save fracking. Of course they have, due to the money they stand to make from fracking. I and many other people already know this to be false. There is overwhelming evidence to the contrary. In a recent presentation to the public, TXP conveniently only explained one of the chemicals used in fracking is carrageenan, a thickening agent used in many commercial ice creams, although this has been independently linked to cancer as well. This shows you how little insight these companies truly have. They did not bother to mention the hundreds of other unnamed deadly poisons, such as benzene and toluene. Here are some chemicals used in fracking. I'll give you a little time to read it. PXP even went so far as to present diagrams showing drilling, fracturing loops down 6,000 feet below the water table. However, they conveniently failed to mention if when gas travels up and leaks, because it will, as all prior research has shown, it will come back up our water table, 6,000 feet up into our residential neighborhoods. Conclusions. What can you do? Today, I have prepared handouts that will be available after my speech, with a list of websites you can access for more information about the dangers of fracking. You can contact foodandwaterwatch.org for information and to share your concerns. You can contact SierraClubCalifornia.org to find out what you can do to either ban or regulate fracking. You can join Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community, which web information will also be on my handout, and you can watch Gasland by Josh Fox to learn more about what fracking does to the environment. We as people have rights. The environment has rights too. We must keep fighting to protect the environment and the laws set in place over the last century to ensure its welfare. For the past 50 years, fracking has been used and unregulated in California. It is estimated more than 600 California wells were fracked in 2011 alone. Culver City is on the forefront of banning fracking. If successful, it will set a precedent for all of California, and it will help cases across the United States. Please, we need your help to defend your own right to clean air, clean water, clean soil, and clean food. There is no longer an excuse to use dirty energy. We have had the technology for clean energy for more than 30 years. The time to use it is now. It is absolutely unacceptable that unregulated fracking has gone on in California for this long. For more than 5 decades, the state regulators have done almost nothing to govern or even investigate the risks involved in fracking. Right now, the people of California, and that includes both you and I, don't know where or when the drills are fracking, what chemicals they are using, and what pollutants they are releasing into the air and water that we drink and breathe. This is because the state hasn't required them to disclose this information. Please, we need your help. We need your help now before the problem becomes even larger and before any more irreversible damage is done. You are now part of the percentage that understands what fracking is and what it does to us as humans and to our environment. Either fracking needs to be banned or companies need to find a safe way to do it with state regulation. Please talk to your family and friends. Please contact the local agencies on my handouts to see what you can do. If we all talk about the problem, we can work to protect this precious environment that we live in. Please remember, we do not own Mother Earth. We are just borrowing her for a short time. One big journey begins with a small step. I've just begun my journey, and I will surely finish it. Let's work together to make a difference, for together we can. Now, the journey continues.